So Jesus says to the disciples, if any of you wants to be my follower, you must put aside your selfish ambition and follow me. If you try to keep your life for yourself, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for me, you will find true life. And how do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul in the process? Is anything worth more than your soul? And your soul is this childlike, open, receptive, thirsty, as we were mentioning last time, these lowlifes supposedly in the community, what the Pharisees called the scum, the prostitutes, the tax collectors, the lepers who were rejected and disdained by the rest of the community, but because they had no status, they were very receptive, very open, they were zealous, they were passionate for this imaginal truth, this imaginal treasure, this kingdom of heaven, as he called it. So they were very full of soul, whereas the Pharisees, with their self-righteousness, were so smug and so convinced that they did not need any of this, what Jesus was offering, this source energy, this imaginal force field supernatural power that he was offering. They rejected it, were closed to it. The grain of wheat must lose itself. This literal grain of wheat must lose itself in that imaginal ground of being to reap an abundant harvest, to be nourished by that eternal life wellspring. 6 days after Jesus gives this little lesson to his disciples is one of the dramatic, dazzling, miraculous moments in the whole New Testament, the Transfiguration, where he takes his 3 closest disciples up on the mountain and reveals himself fully to them for the first time as a pure, radiant beacon of source glory. These literal disciples, Jesus had been trying every trick he knew to pierce them, frustrating, trying to find a way to get through this literal wall. And the voice of God comes in the midst of this radiant, miraculous, wondrous, breathtaking display and says, listen to him. Guzzle this imaginal bounty that he is gushing forth and that you're seeing and experiencing and feeling right now, this radiance. And then, right after this display, the Transfiguration, when they arrived at the foot of the mountain, a huge crowd was waiting for them. A man came and knelt before Jesus and said, Lord, have mercy on my son, because he has seizures and suffers terribly. So I brought him to your disciples, but they couldn't heal him. Now listen, here's the part. Jesus replied, you stubborn, faithless people. And he wasn't talking to this father of the poor kid who was afflicted. He's talking about his disciples who he had just given this demonstration to and who he'd been struggling with for these many, many months trying to get through. You stubborn, faithless people. How long must I put up with you trying to bash my head against this literal wall? I'm draining all my mojo on you guys. And then he says, bring the boy to me, and he heals him instantly. So it was frustrating for both the shaman and the literal community that he was trying so hard to get through to, unwilling to believe in this imaginal, so unwilling to believe in the power of this source energy that's available to all of us to channel into this world, to heal.